Are you in the mood to grab a pal and go ham in the gym for hours? We're talking kettlebell skill, speed strength, and slabs of muscle meat, finishing with the ultimate pump. Here's a preview of the entire workout I'll be covering in this episode. So clear your calendar, screenshot this beast, and stick around for training tips and behind the scenes action. First up, kettlebell flows to get warm and loose and wake up the brain. Stick around to see how Andrew handled these, plus an awesome mobility move for your arsenal. Next, we're gonna hit a very potent combo, essentially a squat and pull. You'll see why I like this Smith machine calf raise so much and how to build on this small muscle pump with a giant dose of leg press to follow. Ready for more? We can't neglect unilateral strength or an opportunity to get into even more muscle groups here. Andrew, stay with me. We've got deficit Bulgarian split squats paired with a seated wide grip cable row, followed by a leg extension and standing curl combo. Finally, you're done after this finisher. Check out how the sled can be the perfect way to end the type of workout that will turn your legs into jello. Good luck, and if you finish the whole thing, most definitely leave a comment below. Now, let's get into the full workout breakdown. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and we're doing another training breakdown with Andrew Simmerling, who's been on the channel before. Andrew Simmerling is one of our FBB master coaches. He has a strong background in endurance running, and he has been doing training for ultra marathons. He has been recently training for a 50-mile race that is coming up very soon. And as a matter of fact, this particular session that you're seeing us do right here, he came up to Northern California. He visited us here at FBB HQ because he lives in SoCal, because he had a race this particular Saturday. This is Friday. We're doing this training session, and unfortunately, because we've been having storms like crazy up here, the race got canceled. There was mud. The trails were not really runnable, and so for safety issues, his race got canceled, which for him, super disappointing, I'm sure. But he's going to go ahead and do the follow-up race this summer for a 50-miler. And when your race gets canceled, what do? You call up Marcus and you say, hey, let's go do a blitz of leg day. So today is a mega leg day. And because we just had some time, we hadn't been together in a while, we were going to do some other fun prep stuff. So we got kettlebell flows coming at you. I'm doing some jump roping with a variety of different tricks and tips that I learned recently from a world jump rope record holder. That episode's coming up to the channel soon. So let's dive into it. Kettlebell flows are super fun. You might see them on Instagram or on social media or TikTok or any one of these channels. People doing these really unique, dynamic, coordinated exercises with kettlebells. Some of them look super hard. You got people juggling kettlebells. You can pick a variety of places to start. And what we were doing today was a number of different single-arm kettlebell flows where you kind of combine multiple different movements back to back to back into these sequences. And it's fun for working on timing. It's fun for working on coordination. Once you get good at it, you can start to lift heavy. Great for strength training and great for dynamic hip power strength, as well as shoulder stability, endurance, and strength. That's why I love to use them. So the first flow that we did was one swing, single arm swing, two single arm high pulls into a third movement, the snatch. So swing, high pull, snatch. We did 3 rounds of that per arm, so kind of link these together before switching, and 3 sets per arm. In between each flow that we did, I just pulled out the jump rope and I'm practicing these crisscrosses, this running man, a couple different timing sequences. Jump roping is just an awesome way to get a little bit of prep in, warm the body up, and keep you sharp, and it's just fun and it looks cool. The second flow, this was a couple movements that were somewhat new to me. It was a switch swing, so a swing where you switch arms mid-swing. Also a switch clean, which I'd actually never done prior to this session, where you initiate the pull with the right arm, but you catch the clean on the left arm, and then a switch snatch. Initiate the pull with the right arm, but you catch the bell with the left arm overhead. So switch swing, switch clean, switch snatch, times 3 per arm, rest, and then repeat. The last one, this one got a little bit more into rotational strength, and this was a pass-through clean. So between the legs, up into a clean, and then a rotational side swing snatch. So kettlebell comes across the body, swing it up, catch it overhead. If these things look fun to you, I encourage you to give it a try. Use a light kettlebell and just play around with it. You're not going to be perfect at it, but with all the coaching tips that I could give you, you can still never get good at these things without just trying it and practicing. I have a video on my YouTube channel that's one of my most viewed videos of all time, and it is 5 kettlebell fundamentals that you can learn, and I go through a long, detailed explanation of how to improve these 5 basic kettlebell foundations. If you haven't seen it, then make sure you click that link, but I would encourage you after you watch this video to go watch it. It's packed full of information, and I've had a lot of people comment that that's the best foundational kettlebell mechanics video educationally that they've watched ever. I didn't say it, they did. But it could really help you learn some things that are basic to the swing, clean, snatch, and some other important tips about the rack position and so forth. Now, one thing to note, and I hope this makes Andrew feel good. Andrew popped the top mid-session, and we are a look good, move well culture here at Functional Bodybuilding. We want you to look good in a way that makes you feel confident, with your clothes on, with your clothes off, whatever. I believe that sits next to having good movement and good performance. It's not an if one thing or the other. You don't have to say, I'm all about aesthetics or I'm all about performance. Both of those can live together in the same training goals. And about 3 months ago, Andrew was here training over the winter, and between those 3 months, he had signed up and started training for his ultra marathon. That meant his training got a lot more focused. He started to pay more attention to his food. He started to lift harder in the gym to support his mileage that he was doing. And what I noticed was I was like, damn, Andrew, you're looking jacked. He had looked like he had more muscle mass, and he looked leaner. More muscle, less body fat. I just said that this is what I visually saw in him, and he was like, oh, thank you. Lo and behold, he went and stepped on our in-body scanner, which is a body composition scanner we have here at the facility, and he had increased muscle mass and decreased body fat. This is recomposition at its finest, and it was showing right there. So props to Andrew for getting super focused and consistent with his training. Did he do something crazy? No, he just stuck to a plan. He focused on performance. He ate well, and he was conscious of recovering well with his food and his nutrition. Lo and behold, his body changed. Now, we got into a super, super tough leg workout. Up until now, we've just been doing kettlebell flows. I was trying to teach him that PVC pipe kind of wiggle, internal, external rotation exercise. That was something that I had seen on another YouTube channel, and I want to actually give a quick shout out for the PVC thread the needle exercise that we were doing, which looks kind of like a party trick or a little bit of a magic trick, like, oh, how did you actually get that PVC pipe to move like that and your arm to move like that? There's a guy named Vic who owns a company called Anatomy in Motion out in Australia. I'd also like to link that below because Vic is somebody that I follow on social media, and if you don't follow him, you should give him a follow. He's got amazing combinations of strength and movement capacity. He has a great way of teaching, and I love to watch his channel for ideas on how to move better, be strong, and keep really healthy, supple joints and stable joints. So give him a look. Okay, like I said, we did a lot of stuff before we actually got into this leg session, and in addition, we also threw in some calf raises and some cable curls. Now, calf raises and bicep curls are 2 exercises that I think are really valuable. Who doesn't want to have good-looking biceps and strong flexors? And who doesn't want to have good-looking calves and strong ankles? But so many people put these things at the end of their training session. So they'll come in, they'll train legs super hard, they might do a bunch of pull-ups, they might do a bunch of pulling exercises, and then at the end, they're like, okay, I'll hit some calves and some biceps. But they're already smoked mentally, physically, and so they don't bring a lot of energy to those accessory lifts. So put that hard stuff first, right? So that's what we did. We did hard sets of cable curls, and we did hard sets of single leg calf raises on the Smith machine, And both of those exercises got us a great stimulus to the calves and to the biceps before we were exhausted from doing what will come soon, leg presses and rear foot elevated split squats, etc. All right, now into the meat and potatoes of this thing. We got on the leg press, and I have been doing leg press once a week for now a couple months. And I have to say, it's the first time I've consistently used a lower body machine like this in a progressive overload process and training pattern for a long time. As a CrossFitter, back squat, front squat, deadlift, these were like the main lower body exercises that we did along with the Olympic lifts. There's a big reason why using stable surfaces and stable environments to do strength training is so valuable. On this leg press machine, I can get a great range of motion. I can bottom this thing out and it looks like I'm at the bottom of the deepest squat that I could ever do. But because I'm so stable on this machine and I don't have to worry about balance, I don't have to worry about is my body coming forward, is my body coming back, I can really push high intensity on weights and get a really great stimulus with low fatigue on my whole body. If I were to try and accomplish the same intensity on a back squat for the sets and the reps that we did, I would not be able to accomplish that without having a lot of fatigue in my low back, in my hips, maybe my upper back, and I would probably be feeling the back squat sets a lot more for the days that followed. So having to recover in parts of my body that I wasn't even really aiming to train. Now, if you really want to have a strong back squat, that matters for your sport, like you're a CrossFitter or if you're a power lifter, then of course you need to train those. But if you're looking for overall strength and muscular development, consider finding ways that you can get into very strong, stable positions to push intensity without getting a ton of fatigue on your body, your brain, and parts of your body that you weren't really trying to target in the first place. So for the leg press, we worked up to a tough set of 10 reps. We really maxed that out. And in between, we were doing strict pull-ups for max effort. So we're kind of doing a leg day, but with a little accessory in the upper back. Once that was done, we moved into the next superset. And this superset involved a deficit rear foot elevated split squat. Deficit rear foot elevated split squats is something that I've been practicing a bit lately. This is arguably one of the hardest exercises in the gym, the rear foot elevated split squat. Placing the front foot on an elevated surface just allows me to go deeper in my range of motion. What I'm looking for is to bottom out on the single leg squat. And this position and how it's set up allows me to do that really well. And it does mean that I have to go a little bit lighter. I'm only grabbing 30-pound dumbbells here. Whereas if I were to do a traditional rear foot elevated split squat, maybe I would be able to go much heavier, but my range of motion wouldn't be as good or as big. So big shout out to the front foot elevated or the deficit rear foot elevated split squat. And we paired that up with a seated cable row with a wide grip. And on the seated cable row, the technique that I'm trying to focus on is as the hands go out towards the machine, really letting the shoulders roll forward, the upper back roll forward to make sure that I'm getting a maximal stretch in my traps, my rhomboids, my rear delts, and my lats, so that on every single pull, I'm pulling from a maximally stretched position for all 15 reps. For the split squats and the cable row, we did about 3 sets each, building up to something really tough on the last set of each. And then we finished out with 2 drop sets on the leg extension as well as the cable curl. Now, a drop set is performed like this. You get a weight on the exercise and you take it to failure. In this case, we are each hitting failure around 8 to 10 reps on the given exercise. So cable curl, I go 10 reps, max out. Can't do another rep after 10 because it's so hard and I've reached my limit. Then lower it down, take about 50 to 70% of the weight off. So it's like 100 pounds, drop it to 70 or 50 pounds, and then go immediately into more curls, take that to failure. So you're taking 2 different weights to failure back to back. That's a true drop set. And that was it. Maybe it didn't seem like a lot, but trust me, that was a crushing leg session as well as some great upper back and bicep work to go with it. And that concluded our pump, lower body, upper pull day. And as a finisher, I just grabbed a sled I put a 10-minute timer on, and I pushed it down the length of the gym, and I dragged it backwards down the length of the gym and just kept going. I usually get about 11 to 12 lengths in that time. And it's a great way to just do some sled work, which again, if you have been on this channel, you know I love sleds for the strengthening of the knees, the quads, the ankles. And that is just my way of finishing after a really hard session where I don't have it in me to go do any high effort conditioning work that is fast paced. Now, Andrew didn't do the pushing and the pulling because even though his race was canceled, his goal was to go run in the rain the next day, and he did. And his feedback was, I ran 13 miles on super tired legs in pretty rough conditions, and he felt amazing. It was a good substitute for his 50K race that he didn't get to run, and we'll see him back here in June to knock off 50 miles in one go. Thanks for joining me, Andrew. Thank you all for joining me. Make sure that you give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below if you've ever run 13 miles or more and what you think about using the leg press. I'd love to know. We'll catch you next time on a training breakdown.
Okay, now left-handed is gonna be hard.
Like a magic trick.
I know, it kind of feels like it. I'm like, how the hell did he do that?